Hello Universe, I'm Hypercat Riley, and today I'm going to do a quick overview of Transformers Kingdom Megatron, oops, that was close, and Transformers Kingdom Optimus Primal. Man, these guys look good. So let's begin. Let's go ahead and start with the big guy first, because boy, he's beefy. So this is Beast Wars Megatron in fully realized leader class size, and oof, he's a little bit loose on the legs, but that's my fault. I messed with him a little too much. He was actually more solid when he got out of the box. He's actually got a lot of joints going on here and there. The shoulder, the wrist, legs, knees. And he's got a little bit of an ankle tilt, which is nice. A lot of Transformers need that. And here as well. It's not really much noticeable in here, but it's there. What I like about this toy is that he's got this realistic rubbery skin that's very reminiscent of the old Jurassic Park toys from yonder times when they were like, hey, our gimmick is that our skin feels real and stuff. Also, he's got this little hole in the mouth right here, so you can put in like a little effect there, so that's cool. What I don't like is that he's got these this little thing here about the legs where you're supposed to pull this apart, and you just can't for the life of you because you feel like you're going to break it. That's why I have to use something like a part separator. I'm glad I built Gunpla, because if I didn't have that part separator, I would have no idea how to separate these parts. So if you ever get this guy and you want to transform him, do yourself a favor, look up part separators, Gundam or something, and definitely get one. It's also useful for future Transformers that don't split apart very easily. Does less damage than your hands could. I also don't like the fact that he's got this mandible claw thing with the tail. Well, it's part of the original toy. The thing is that it's not very removable from the arm. And by very removable, I mean you cannot get this off. It is there forever. And what's sillier about it is that Megatron has this little hand here that you're supposed to be able to put weapons into, but because this thing gets in the way, you're not going to have a whole bunch of weapons to put with him. So that's kind of lame. Let's go ahead and do a size comparison real quick. Figma, Deluxe, Spartan, Boba Fett. Now let's go ahead and shift over and take a look at Optimus Primal. Let me get him more centered. There we go. You can see right here he's got a nice full-colored body, and he's very screen accurate to his original Beast Wars appearance. One thing I don't like is that he doesn't have a jetpack, which is very much in the original show, but you know, it's not a deal breaker for me. It's an affordable, miniaturized masterpiece, Optimus Primal. You can't go wrong with that. I also like the detail on his arms here and legs. Look at all that. I always kind of thought it looked like muscle tissue and bone when I had the original. Sorry, I didn't actually have the original, but I had it in my hands. It was a friend's. I had trouble transforming the original Beast Wars toys, but boy, did I love the show. I loved it so much. Couldn't care less about transforming them. I was a little too young for Transformers, but I still like the show. Even going back and watching it in my adult age, it really did not age too badly at all. Apparently there was a variant of this one with a face shield running around, and I could never find that one. So congrats on anyone that found the variant that actually had it. Now let's talk about posability for a moment here. Oops, I just injured Boba Fett severely. It's okay, he's used to that. So, nice swivel at the shoulders, in and out. Very bendable elbows. It's a little tight on the head, but, you know, it's not too tight to the point that you're going to break this thing. And just look at that. I love this too. The pipes, they're like part of the robot mode. This is really good. So this guy is incredibly posable. Got a nice little waist swivel. Oops. Yeah, the swords can definitely come off, so you can just pop them off and do this. And what I like about the ports in the back is that you can you can see them, but they're camouflaged well with the coloration, which is really nice. So let's do a size comparison with this guy. Deluxe, Spartan, Boba Fett. All right, now that we've seen these guys in their robot modes, we're gonna go ahead and get these into their animal modes, because that's part of the whole gimmick of these guys. By the way, one more thing I want to mention before I transform Megatron. He's got this kind of like wild thing going on with his backpack, but honestly, it doesn't look too bad. It actually kind of makes sense. And having mangled body parts on him because, you know, he's evil and the bad guy. Yes. This is what I'm using to pry open Megatron's legs. This is a part separator. This is one I got from a store called USA Gundam Store. It came with a kit, and boy has it been useful for a lot of Transformer toys that are just a little too stubborn. So I would recommend getting one of these. It's not sharp at all. It's not, you know, severely bladed, but it's really useful for working on plastic kits in case, you know, you put them together and oopsie, you were supposed to do that later. So very useful and handy. I fully recommend getting one. And we're done. We have here Kingdom Megatron and his Dinosaur Beast Mode. And we have Optimus Primal in his Primate Beast Mode. Now, this one right here, extraordinarily difficult to transform, but well worth it once it's done. This one, very simple and easy, also worth it. So let's go ahead and take a look at them separately real quick. Just look at this guy. This is what happens when Netflix gets a hold of IPs. They take Barney the Dinosaur and make him dark and malicious. I mean, come on, Netflix. What's with all the dark stuff? Why can't you just do something light and happy for once? Ah, well. Sorry, Barney. Looks like you're part of the dark now. Anyways, jokes aside from the color scheme, he's actually a really terrific toy. Even if he isn't accurate to the T-Rex, his tail is way too short for a T-Rex, so this is more based off of his original design with a realistic head sculpt for the T-Rex. Most people don't know that the T-Rex's eyes were actually more for hunting, much like a predator, whereas the T-Rex in Jurassic Park and the original Megatron was more to the side, much like that of a lizard. But here he is. Now, one of my favorite things is that this thing has this thing about the leg where it kind of like shifts together. Not exactly fully in there, but that's my fault, and I got a little lazy with the transformation. But this part right here is completely disconnected from the rest of the body, and it just slaps onto here. Yeah, it's this part right here, and it just rotates as you move the leg so as not to hinder movement, so you can really pose this guy any way, shape you can. So I'd like to have him in his Jurassic Park roaring phase. Again, we'll do a size comparison. Figma, Deluxe, Spartan. He's in the corner. Boba Fett. He's staring at something. Oh, he's staring at Optimus Prime. I think Megatron may have hired him to hunt Optimus Prime and Primal down. So the tail's a little bit weird, and it just doesn't work for me because, oops, it's only like 2 joints, but you know, it's understandable. You work with what you have. I still wish the tail was longer like the actual T-Rex. If you go look at the skeleton, he's got a long tail. I do like the jaw though. I mean, look at this thing. It has like full range of motion. It's, aside from the flaps, which try to hide all the like kibble underneath, you know, the robot kibble, it still looks good. He also lunges forward, which is nice. So, you know, a la T-Rex style, and just bite someone's head off. And again, just put in like a little effect in his mouth, and he looked like Grimlock blowing a flamethrower on someone. Pretty cool. He's got these stubby little arms too, but you know, it's kind of part of the course for T-Rexes at this point. Let's go ahead and look at Optimus Primal now, who's got a very simplistic design. Can we go ahead and lift him up? Yeah, I kind of feel like I had to lift him up. That's way too low for the camera. Let's take a closer look at this guy. I mean, this is pretty basic. I'm not gonna lie. It would have been nice for you know, them to do more, but you're working with this size. There's going to be a lot that you're not going to be able to have, especially with this amount of detail that they put in. And it's not too bad. It's not too bad. I think they could have done the legs better, but you know, it's not bad. I've seen worse sacrifices on a Transformers toy. Did I mention you can open up these hands? Check this out. So you can actually make him a little bit taller while he's on the ground. Boom. Much better. Interesting, he's also got this gimmick because of the way the legs are. You can bend his legs forward, and because his legs have this like double joint, you can push them forward and you can have him look like he's standing. There we go. Now the monkey is standing. Also, I've rotated the arm so it better hides the robot kibble as it's supposed to be hidden. That was kind of like my bad, but this is how it's kind of generally supposed to look. And I kind of like this, although the disguise kind of unveils itself in the back, but you know, the same thing happened with the original toy. Like I said, with a small size like this, there's not a lot you can do. I like what they've done with this, with what they have. I think my only complaint is the eyes. They could have worked on the eyes a little bit better. The pupils are barely there, so it looks like he just has this blank, emotionless stare. But they're there. They were at least designed to look like actual real eyes. So let's go ahead and do a size comparison. Figma, Deluxe, Spartan, Boba Fett. Uh-oh. What do we have here? Ah, well, that's what you get for underestimating Monkey. The power of Monkey cannot be defeated. Boba Fett has learned this the very hard way. So overall, these are actually pretty good. The only negative is Megatron's transformation sequence and the lack of posability for Optimus Primal's leg and beast mode. But all in all, not big deal breakers because their robot modes are absolutely great. And the T-Rex mode is actually Megatron's best. So I would definitely recommend getting these guys, but I would suggest holding out in just a little bit. They are currently coming out with the Transformers Selects, which have the TV show accurate colored versions for Megatron and Optimus Primal. And I would definitely get on board and getting that if you're going to pick either of these two up. And also, do remember to get that part separator I told you about. You're gonna need one. Alright, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys were well informed. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye, universe.